Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in the space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, it's like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, and
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that.
What's going on, Juneteenth family? Welcome to another edition of the Lunch and Learn session. I am your host, Kiara, aka MBG, and I am here today with a special guest as always. So let me jump right into it. Today, our guest is Gennelle Rice Thomas. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Gennelle. She is the CEO of the Rice Global Enterprise. Okay, and her mission is clear. It is to empower the minds for self-sufficiency through education and continuous learning. Okay, with over 30 years of experience. That's a long time, 3 decades. Okay, over 30 years of experience in quality assurance and a dedication to community service. Her leadership is truly inspiring. Her dedication to bridging this gap to the underserved through education, like I said, awareness and continuous learning is truly commendable. And I just want to bring her up to the stage. Let's bring Gennelle up to the stage to join us today. Gennelle, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
As we jump into everything and get to talk to you, like I said, we're going to have some great conversation today. Can you give us and share a little bit about your story, your upbringing, your background, and how do we get this version of Gennelle that we're sitting across from today?
Well, let's see. My upbringing, my background, I have to say there was a village, of course. The foundation was strong, and everybody looked after me because actually I was the baby of the family on our foundation side. So I kind of got treated special, got away with a lot of things, but I had a very good upbringing. Like I said, it took a foundation and a village and a very strong foundation at that.
Yes. So I know we have so many, like I read your bio and I was like, oh my God, so many career highlights, so many things and past experiences you had. Can you please tell us a little bit about your career highlights before we jump into you being the CEO now? Something about a little bit about your past experiences and places you've worked and, had your career before.
Okay, like you said, and it's going to tell my age, but I'm blessed.
Yes.
I have over 30 years plus experience as a quality professional, and I come from various industries, but mostly automotive industry. Also, during that time, I was a internal lead auditor, where I audit the internal processes for compliance according to the industry standards. Also, documentation administrator, where I managed all the internal documents for release, for revision, and then for training for oncoming employees. That's about as far as my career as a quality professional, but I've done a lot of other things, highlights as far as being an alumna from Cornell University Women's Entrepreneurship Program, which has helped me build RGE's infrastructure now with the classes that they taught.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna ask you and get into that a little bit later with the Cornell background.
Okay.
But just jumping into RGE and just tell us what exactly is Rice Global Enterprise, what does it do, and just introduce the outline of the main services that are provided.
Okay. So Rice Global Enterprise, actually, it was birthed from a previous organization that I co-founded, and we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But RGE, I want to say that I want it to be like a business concierge uh, career one-stop shop. Um, you can come and get document management and disposal services. You can come and get career services. And also, I have a module of professional 501c3 fundraising. Now,
Okay.
with the document management and disposal services, I'm basically focusing on small businesses
Mm-hmm.
and nonprofit organizations because those are the ones that lack or don't have access to the resources or funding to run their business efficiently and effectively.
Right.
For the career services, my target is at risk kids, but also foster students that have aged out of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Want to, set up their career portfolio for them and have access to the resources that they might not be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 501c3 fundraising, I collaborate with a vineyard out of Napa Valley,
Okay.
and we do wine tastings, and 10% of whatever the proceeds could go to your favorite charity.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely interesting. That a lot of things that you said is just clicking to me. Just as a business owner and working toward opening like a nonprofit soon. What are some of the requirements that a business or a nonprofit may need to have if they wanted to come to you for resources and help? What would be the requirements that need to be met in order for you to say, okay, we can help you?
Well, first of all, you would definitely have to, I could help you get your business license, guide you with the steps that you need to get your business license.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also, if you are a charity, make sure that you're documented in the proper resources uh, where we can recognize the 501c3 charity and give back. So,
Mm-hmm.
just probably like business documents. Help you with your business plan. Of course, you got to have a business plan. Help you with your state license, where to go to get your state license, and anything else that has to deal with your business
Mm-hmm.
legality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what drove you to establish RGE and to be able to focus and really hone in on helping people with document management and advocacy research and nonprofit fundraising, like, because that's something that's much needed, of course, within our communities, and the help and the resources are not always as tangible as they need to be. So what drove you to want to do this or have this passion?
I've always had a servant heart. I get that from my mother. Um, my mother was a Sunday school teacher for 40 plus years. She always taught the nursery, so she started with the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that just kind of drove me into helping. She always loved helping other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of stuck with me to give back to the community, to help out, you know, not the less fortunate, but just to give them the resources that they might not be aware of.
Yeah.
And RGE, Rice Global, enterprise dropped down in my spirit because actually it is my initials spelled backwards, which is
Mm-hmm.
Gennelle E. Rice. So I
Mm-hmm.
just had to go with it.
I like it. I like it for sure. So that definitely sounds good, and it's something, you know, that just like you said, it's much needed, and fortunately it helps people in tremendous ways, so that's a great thing. And I want to jump into, as you mentioned a little earlier, being an alumni of Cornell University's Women Entrepreneurship Program, and just having an extensive background in education of knowledge. How do you continue to keep the momentum, if I will, to like continue to serve through education throughout the years? Because it's you gotta be able to keep going, you know. So how do you keep your momentum up in the field, and how has being an alumni of this program helped you with your business today?
Well, actually, I love going to networking.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps me um, wanting more and to serve more. I love to network to see what's new out there, and by being an alumni of that uh, women's entrepreneurship program, the classes that they taught us was very foundational classes. It was like creating your venture, making sure you have personal readiness and customer discovery,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial communications, funding your venture and business planning, uh, growth leadership for female entrepreneurs, laying the legal building blocks for your venture, and
Mm-hmm.
product development and digital marketing. All of those things taught kept us up to date with the real world
Right.
as they move forward, into digital marketing. Coming from my era, a lot of people don't like to learn new things. But in order to keep up or be competitive, you've got to jump in and just learn it, like the new AI and all that coming out. You've got to learn it to stay up to date. So I engage in webinars and, like I said, networking to
Mm-hmm.
keep my education, my continuous learning apart.
Yeah. And mentioning just the evolution of technology and AI being so huge now. You know, like 20 years ago, who would have known that we would be where we are today? You know,
Right.
that literally our phones do everything. It's scanning our
Yes.
face. We're talking to each other. We're having a conversation via web now. You know, how has or do you think is beneficial, and how has it changed the game in providing services for people, and you know, being able to provide resources? How has, you know, just the evolution of technology changed that process?
Well, I think you have to have the mindset. Let me put that. You have to have the mindset to want to learn and keep, up to par. I remember, and my kids brought this to my attention, that I always kept them in the know with digital products as they were growing up, even to the
Mm-hmm.
point where I had an old, well, at the time it wasn't old, PDA. So that
Mm-hmm.
tells you how old I am. But I had a PDA. And then when I wanted to upgrade, I would give it to the kids and say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you need to learn how to do this.
Right.
So they said, you kept us engaged in things that I felt that they would have to know later on in life. So
Right.
I feel that even with the kids that are aged out of foster care, they're going from home to home to home. So they're not getting that closeness of engaging them into things. So they're falling through the system. So that's where I feel that RGE can help, engage them and keep them. They deserve a chance. Everybody deserves a chance.
Absolutely.
But when you fall through the loopholes and fall through the system and there's nobody there to help you and pick you up, then your mindset is in the streets.
Yeah.
So I want to help as much as I can. As they say, if you help one person, your living is not in vain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. And I was listening to you and talking about the kids in the foster care system and things of that nature. I know that I know that you're specifically, are we only providing services for kids of that nature, or is it like just kids altogether, or is it like, we're focusing on that to be able to help them because of the disadvantage that they may have, or is it open to anybody?
Well, my first focus was because I've always been that type, open to anybody, because we got to help each other.
Right.
But I wanted to hone in on the ones that were falling through the system.
That makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna jump around a little bit as we continue on our conversation. How do we get the Gennelle, who's a part of the advisory board? I know you're a part of the advisory board of Juneteenth NYC. Shout out to that. We had a good meeting last night.
Yes.
Your involvement in your initiatives like the Hustle Mama Tribe and Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up movement. Can you tell us about that and your role in the entire Juneteenth organization?
Okay, so let me do a little backstory on this.
We here, so.
And then I'll come to that. As far as the Juneteenth, let me give shout out to Kentucky State University, HBCU, where I worked, attended and worked under Dr. Betty Griffin. She was the chairperson of education. She introduced me to Juneteenth there on the yard. And I had no clue. I'm going to be honest. I did not have no clue. So it interests me so much. She helped me bring it back to the town that I was living in Versailles, Kentucky, to do a festival. And this was probably about, I want to say 2010 or 2011, before it was a federal holiday. So everybody kept saying, you before your time. And I'm like, no, I want to learn. So we done the festival there. That was the first Juneteenth that I was involved with. We had skits, we had plays, we had poetry, we had vendors, we had activities for the kids. It was really well-rounded to introduce that to my town. So then kind of fell off. Didn't nobody, do anything. And it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. 1, 2, 3 people can't do it.
Right.
So it fell off, and then life be lifing. So things changed. So getting back to now, I had met Juneteenth New York CEO, Miss Athenia, on a different platform. And we meshed. It was her and another lady in Toledo, Ohio, met on the platform, and she has the Juneteenth New York in Toledo, Ohio. So we just stayed in contact, and then I was following Athenia, and she was looking for board of directors on the advisory. So I was like, this is falling in my spirit. This is something that I like doing. So I'm going to, apply for it.
Yes.
Once I got in there, girl, it's like, well, I can't say that because I don't know who's watching. But I'm going to tell you, this is all I want to do. This is all I want to do. And being on the advisory board is more of a learning tool for me.
Yes.
And it's like a family of like-minded people. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I see y'all. This is where I need to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And working with them is also, it's stretching my mindset. It's stretching my mindset because all of these kings and queens on this board, I be sitting here after the board meeting. I was like, last night I was like, I know I need to go to bed, but let me go back over these notes and see what we
Uh-huh.
need to do. I was like,
Yeah.
whew, okay.
The enhancement of just to jump in and not to cut you off, but just the enhancement of creativity in one space, you know, even areas that, you know, you may not be familiar in. I found myself, you know, I'm looking, I'm okay, let me take a screenshot of that, just because it's so much information to retain. It's like, okay, that might be useful in the future, you know, that might be something that I can use when I'm doing, you know, XYZ or whatever. It's very, very informative. It's a great platform. And just like you said, it's just like a family of kings and queens that are intellects, that, you know, we share this interest, and it just continues to grow. So without that connection, you know, we all need that connection, and we need to continue to build on that to be able to expand and to, you know, be in Kentucky and be in Ohio and be, you know, just everywhere, just to have pieces of that, because that's gonna, you know, expand the expansion as we continue to go. So just, you know, I don't know if you were going to get into the programs or the, you know, the Hustle Mama Tribe or the Wake Up Rise Up and you know, the movement. Go ahead, I'll let you.
Yes. So all of this, you know, at the time, I can see it now that it was just building, but it was my stepping stones to get me where I am today. I was also on another platform with the Hustle Mama Tribe, and that tribe is led by the Queen Hustle Mama, Dr. Stephanie Jones. And she mentored and encouraged me on how to build my digital empire along with digital real estate. And I'm like, what the heck? Where have I been? And I'm like, okay, let's grow with this. And she just encouraged me and showed me how to grow my audience with organic traffic. And the main thing is how to operate in my spiritual gifts.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, hold on. And then I came across Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up movement, and that was led by Minister Sheila Reynolds. And at the time, it was preparing me for my life transformation. And it was through our book collaboration called Bloom. Bloom where you plant it, but we called it Bloom. And it consisted of stories for women to nurture your growth and water your soul. And I was a co-author of 20 other women in a volume 2 series. So all of this was just preparing me to take RGE to another level. Didn't know it at the time, but now that I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, these Queen sisters. And like I said, it takes a village. Yes. There were people that in my life, as I came up this way, that has been stepping stones for me. So I just say you got to have the right mindset. You got to have the right mindset. You've got to be criticism, as long as it's, you know, critiquing you to be better, you know. But if you have that right mindset and get around the right people, it's unlimited. It is, I mean, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Through God. Yes. But you can do anything. So
yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now and let you talk.
No, you talking. I'm over here agreeing because it's nothing but facts. It's really, you know, and just ways in leadership. You know, leadership plays a huge role in just relationships, you know, just as you build relationships and you come across leaders and you being a leader yourself, it you bounce off of that energy. It helps you to now your mind, you know, it may be already in a great space, but now you're thinking about, okay, this person just gave me another great idea. How can I enhance that? How can I, you know, what can I do to be of help? How can I do this? So just, you know, I agree with everything you said. And of course, keeping God first. And Diana's on the screen. She said it does take a village. Absolutely. You know,
Yes.
absolutely takes a village. And, you know, the support means and takes us a long way. People sometimes don't understand the slightest thing of support means so much to, you know, somebody who may not have it, you know.
Right.
That's huge. That's huge and that's key. And I wanted to ask, you know, how do you, or I like to ask this question when I say, you know, what are some things that you've learned in business, like rules that you've learned that, or even that you value in every situation, and that you know, it may have been a lesson that you've learned, but something that, you know, you can utilize in every situation, or something that always comes to mind when it's like, okay, I had a problem and I got to solve this. What values do you go to in that circumstance?
Well, I've always been the type to, how can I put this? I can go. I don't have to go in the front door. I
Mm-hmm.
can go through the back door and sit there and observe the room and learn,
Yeah,
and then move to the front of the room.
I
So
like.
if you tell me no when I walk through the front door, I will say, okay, I got some more research to do. And that's when I'm going to hit you through the back door.
I like
But
that.
if you tell me yes right off the bat, it's like, okay, so let me vet everything that's going on and let me
Mm-hmm.
see how much work I have to do. But yeah, I can go through the back door to try to find out and observe the room
Mm-hmm.
in order to get what I need. And I've always been like that. I will research and I will find I'm not going to say the loophole, but as far as just going the extra mile to find information, I will do that. That's just like the Cornell Women's Entrepreneurship Program. Did
Mm-hmm.
not know it's a free program.
Mm.
It is a free program. You
Oh,
might be on a waiting list,
right.
which it took me, I think, maybe a year to get in, but it's a free program with a certificate. A lot
Wow.
of people don't know that. But once
Right.
I done my research and done my vetting, I found that out. And I shared it with people. And
Yeah.
you know, some people, the old saying, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
So that's my purpose. I'm gonna share the information. What you do with it is all up to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it's a blessing when people share ideas without feeling threatened. That's the truth, because, you know, sometimes, and I feel like, you know, today we're in a space more now than ever where, you know, sharing information is,
Yes.
you know, is open. Pippi is in on the chat. She said, wow, we have a lot of work to do. We're so glad you embraced it and act on it. Absolutely. You know, sharing information, you know, a lot of times we didn't do things because we simply just didn't know, or
That's
we thought
true.
it was out of our reach, or, you know, it sound good, but, you know, that might not be, you know, something that's obtainable for me. And when you share information, you know, share the information when you get a chance. Athenia is on the chat as well. Yes, when you share information, it just gives the possibility of what can happen, you
That
know.
is true.
It gives a possibility. We have Athenia again. She said, it is also about sharing information to the right community. Not all information is for everyone. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's key. That's key.
Yes.
That's key. And how do we just going off of that comment right there? How do we, you know, if this even if I'm saying it right. I hope I'm saying it right. But how do we know who the right community is? You know, how can we decipher between? Because I feel like if you know, you know. But
Right.
how do we break that down into, you know, layman terms of what can we do when figuring out who do we share this information with, and how do we share this information in the most effective way?
We've got a lot of work to do on that one.
Yeah.
As Dr. Stephanie told our group, I'm gonna give you the information, and all this information I might not be for you, but you might know somebody that can use it.
Yeah.
So share it, you know.
Yeah.
But you're right. How do you distinguish between who to share it with and who would use it? And I don't have an answer for that, because
Yeah.
you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something for sure. Pippi again says a room for growth and development. Absolutely. And jumping and talking about growth and development, I want to chime in real quick and let all the entrepreneurs and business owners or vendors or anybody that might be watching us right now, we have an opportunity for you. Okay, you can jump in on our vendors information session. Our vendors information session will be held February 28th. That is a Wednesday, and that will be at 7 p.m. If you have not yet filled out to be a vendor at the Juneteenth celebration this year, you want to do that. It will take place June 14th to June 16th. It's going to be amazing. This is the 15th annual. I'll be there. Everybody will be there. It'll be so great. We have throughout the vendor information session, we'll give you all the information. We have some perks for you. We got a payment plan if you need to, you know, break the payments up just to make sure you secure your spot. You don't want to wait on this one. So make sure you check it out. Go to our website. You can check it out, JuneteenthNY.com. Check out our social media page. Click the link and you should be able to register for this vendor information session. Okay. So I just wanted to take some time to jump in and tell you guys about that to make sure that you check that out.
Now, can I piggyback off of that for a
Absolutely,
second?
absolutely.
Now, like I was telling some vendors that I came in contact with, you all, what Athenia does, and no, I'm not getting paid for this. What Athenia does is she goes over 110%, over the 110% for vendors in advertising your business.
Mm-hmm.
The perks, I ain't never seen nothing like it. But let me tell you, you've got to put in the work up front. And she's not gonna sit there. If you lazy with it, next.
Yeah.
But if you put in the work up front, this queen goes 110 over the 110% for your business.
220 off top.
220 toes down, girl. But I just want to piggyback off of that, because I think, you know, just to see the information and working on the back end, I'm like, wow, you all, this is an opportunity that you don't want to miss. But like you said, it's not for everybody.
Right.
So, but I just wanted to give a shout out for that. It's very, very well put together organization program. And I love the family.
Absolutely. I wanna you know, just kind of piggyback off of you with that, but I have to agree with you 100%. Last year was my first time being a vendor. I started as a vendor and it was amazing. As I was there and I only did Saturday last year, but just as I came, you know, just the production, and I have a production background, so I'm used to seeing, you know, things being put together and how festivals or functions are ran. And I'm like, okay, you know, first of all, to see our people doing all this is that's just goes without saying is fire already. But I'm just like, nah, this is the professionalism, the
Yes.
yeah, everybody does their job. And I was like, okay, I know that I want to do this again, but I want to be a part of them too. Like I want to see what, I want to be a part. How can I do something? Can I host something? Can I DJ? How can I be a part of this? And those are the kind of, events and organizations, just like I mentioned earlier, networking is key. You never
Yes.
who you might shake hands with and what position they're in and how they can help you or just give you the right information, the key information to point you in the right direction to be able to do something that, is beneficial to you as well in your growth. So, it is so much that goes into, just seeing the glitz and glamour is so much behind that as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. Everybody that puts into something coming together, of any sort, I commend you all for your work and your efforts, because that's great. I want to ask you, and this is a little bit outside of business, but how much work do you put into attaining and maintaining your personal happiness while running a company and helping others so much? How much do you pour back into yourself?
That has been a learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
because at first I didn't pour into myself. I
Yeah.
poured into everybody but me.
Yeah.
But this transformation, oh girl, be loving her.
As you should.
Oh girl,
As
be
you
loving her.
should.
I do things that I like doing. I mean, self-care.
Yes.
Yes.
It's needed.
So yeah, it was a learning lesson, and you can get drained
Mm-hmm.
by always pouring into other people when they don't pour back into you.
Yes.
But I bless people from the overflow now. So my cup is going to stay full by doing self-care, by going to webinars, by going to networking events, that's going to feed my purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to something just to sit there and say, oh, okay. No, it has to feed my purpose.
Yes.
So now, as it feeds my purpose, my cup is going to stay full. So whatever flows over, oh, baby, I'm blessing somebody.
Uh-huh.
I have learned I'm blessing somebody.
Uh-huh. That's huge. That's huge. And I like to ask that question because, as business owners and, just as Black women, we always pour into others. We make sure everybody else is good before we even worry about what's going on here. So I like to ask that question just to bring awareness to, us as women. We have Diana on the chat. She said, why as women do we not put ourselves first? It must be a mother in spirit. It absolutely. That's second nature. And I always say, well, that's first nature. That's just our superpower of just taking care of everybody else, for sure. But, just to remind yourself sometimes when you feel, overworked or, overwhelmed or like, all right, am I really receiving this back? Let me take a step back and pour into myself. So I love that you just dropped that gem on when when I have something to give, if it's running over, then I can give and I can share and I could, pour back into others because I got to feed myself first. So
yes.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. How do you balance the short-term goals and the long-term goals, like vision in your business? And what are some short-term and long-term goals that you have for RGE?
I try to balance it by staying in the scripture,
Mm-hmm.
staying in alignment. That's the only way that I can balance it. That's the only way that I've gotten from this point now, because before I wasn't in alignment.
Right.
And everything was everywhere. But now that I'm in alignment and I ask for spiritual discernment, and you got to be careful when you ask
Mm-hmm.
for spiritual discernment, because you will be surprised who you need to exclude out of your life. I mean, it can be family, friends, it can be anybody. So when you
Preach to
ask for
us.
spiritual,
Yes.
when you
Yeah.
ask for spiritual discernment,
Yeah.
be careful, because he will reveal some things to you that, like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's not what I was gonna say, but okay.
Right. Right.
But yeah, my short term goals is to uh, work in the community where I'm at. My long term goals is to be globally. One of the things that I would love to do long term is have a community of container homes for the homeless vets,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and let them have a community where they can be self-sufficient, have an organic garden on the compound, and teach self-sufficiency. That's a long-term goal,
Mm-hmm.
but you be careful what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I have to always be ready so I don't have to get ready.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
that's a learning curve for me as well. It's like, I see that coming down the pike. Oh Lord, I'm not ready. Okay, you better get ready. So yes, so there are some goals out there, and I just one day it'll come to fruition. So
Yeah. 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 And I love that. And that idea and that goal um is a beautiful mission. I feel like, of course it's needed, much needed, especially for our vets and the resources um that should go without saying that they have, that they shouldn't have to, fight so much for and
right,
struggle and have like you put in your time and you've done an up
exactly.
you know a enormous amount of things for the country, that should be given without having to like do so much for. So I think that is a wonderful idea. And all the blessings with that, because I know it will come. So just like you said, just get ready now, because it's on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way for sure. Let's jump into, I like to ask, is, well, one, is this something, well, you kind of say with your mom's background you've always been into like helping others, but in the question of what advice would you give somebody on your path to doing something in your field of just helping others and bridging the gap and assurance and community service? What advice would you give them, and what direction would you tell them, like, maybe you should start here and this will put you in a position to be able to do this and this?
First thing and foremost, don't give up. And it's easy. It's easy to give up, and it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to say, "Hey, I'm done with it." But
Mm-hmm.
if you have been truly anointed, and the calling is on you, He will give you the strength to not give up.
Yeah.
Um, just be very observant of your surroundings. You know, I told someone, this is the year where you square up and you don't blink. So if you come across people that are wish-washy,
Mm-hmm.
go find your people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So square up and don't blink, because this is the year. People, and I've seen it, and I felt it in my spirit. This is the year that a lot of things are going to come out where you've been sowing those seeds for so long, and now it's going to come and it's going to bless you and others. I say get around people of the same mindset. I say try to find people that, if this is the area that you want to grow in, or if this is the area that you want your career to go in, I say try to find, and this is where I want RGE to come in to
Mhm.
help people find people to job shadow so they
Yes.
can see exactly what, you know, what is it that I want to do? What is it? You've already done it. So can you guide me into doing this and what steps I need to take? So
Yeah.
that's what I want to, try to help people in, as far as getting around the right people, getting
Hmm.
around your right network, because they're out there. You just got to find them.
Yes. 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 And that's major. Mentorship is major. And it's not always accessible as easily as needed.
There you go.
I feel like it should be something that's more attainable within our communities, because we can have a dream or a goal, but because you may not know somebody who's done it, it's a little discouraging. Like, is it possible?
Right.
Can it really happen? And then if you're around the wrong people that doubt it, it could crush your dreams. So
Yes.
we need that. So for that to be a service of RGE, that would be amazing as well, because it's like you said, finding the loopholes and coming in and rescuing, so to speak, rescuing us and helping us. Like, let me take you to, this is the way you got to go. This is what you need to do. This is who you need to talk to. That will bridge the gap and get us across to the other side for sure. So that is that's excellent. That's excellent.
And to piggyback off of that,
Mhm.
just a little bit, there are so many opportunities that, by me going in the back door, I have found out. Say, for instance, if you have state insurance,
Mhm.
there are funds appropriated in that state insurance that will pay for free mentoring, free tutoring, uh, free job skills.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that I'm trying to share, to let people know. There's resources out there, but nobody really have access to them.
Mhm.
And sometimes the system wants it that way,
Yeah.
so that money gets returned.
Mhm.
And they say, oh, well, they didn't use it. Well, how do they know to use it?
Mhm. 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 And I think it's a lot. Well, I don't think, I know it's a lot. In that area, because it's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Thank you.
If you
Thank you.
don't know, you don't
Right.
know. So we gotta figure that out, and we gotta let
Yes.
each other know. And that, yeah, that's what we need. That's
Yes.
our 2024 goals. That's what we doing. That's what we doing.
There
I
you
love
go.
it. I
Yes.
love it. Let me ask you a few more questions before we get out of here. I love
Okay.
when we get deep in conversation and I look up and I'm like, oh, it's almost time to go. No. But before we have to do all of that, just a few questions. What is your favorite hip hop artist? And I know we were talking, prior to coming on. She said, "Wait a minute, I don't know if I know. I don't know. Wait a second." I said, "Whatever you want to give me is fine. Whatever you want to give me is fine." So, who would you say is your favorite hip hop artist?
Well, since we were talking about that before we came on, I had to go and really think, because I know if my kids are watching, they gonna go, "Oh Lord, what is she gonna say?" But I had to go back and really think, because, like I told you, I said, now if you ask me about some jazz, I could throw a
Uh-huh.
couple of names out there.
Uh-huh.
But as far as hip hop, I have to go with Queen Latifah,
Okay.
and then I have to go with my girl Debrat. Because when
Okay.
she came out with Funk the Five, oh,
Uh-huh.
that beat is all that.
I love it.
So I had to think about that a little bit.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. I gotta agree with you. Two goats when we're talking about women. They came in and they absolutely changed the hip hop game and
Yes.
changed the face of females in hip hop. So, salute to those ladies for sure. what does I usually start off the interviews all month. I've been saying happy Black History Month, so let me jump that in right now. Happy Black History Month. What does Black history mean to you?
We ain't got enough time.
Give me what you can.
Let me give you
I'm here for
it. Brief.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, freedom.
Yes.
It's a part of American history that has not been taught.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to unlearn to relearn. And it's the recognition of a culture that has been misused by the system. And I want to say, everybody say the system is broke. It ain't broke.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way the system was set up.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as Black history, I usually go all out and make some Black history posts. But Black History Month and like Mother's Day, I celebrate that every month, every day.
Man. Yes.
So I'm not gonna sit here. Black History and Mother Day is 365.
Come on.
I celebrate it all the time. And what I love about Juneteenth, New York, is in our chats, all the information and links that they be putting in there. And girl, I be like, oh, let me send this to my kids. Let me send this to my kids. Did y'all know this? I did.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, Black history to me is unlearning and relearning.
I love
the
it.
truth.
I love it. I love it for sure. And great question to follow up with that. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
It's my 4th of July.
Okay. Absolutely.
It's my 4th of July. I have learned at the age I am now, I'm like, how come this was never taught? Don't say how come, just do what you got to do now to teach others.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's my Independence Day.
Yeah. 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 As my aunt says, she always is like, the 4th of hula? No, we celebrate Juneteenth over here. Okay.
Exactly.
So yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love to ask this question. What do you feel is one thing you owe yourself now? What's one thing you owe yourself later? And what's one thing you owe yourself one day in the future?
What do I owe myself? I owe myself now self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I owe myself later more self-care.
Okay.
And one day to own a self-care resort.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's one thing you want, or not one thing, but what do you want the community to take away from today's session?
What I would like for anybody and everybody to take away from this session is you're going to be told no. There's always another way around it. You just have to find it, even if you got to go through the back door.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep striving, keep believing, keep putting God first. That's number one.
Yes.
One of my favorite scriptures is write the vision, make it plain. So if you believe and you put that down on paper, and if you manifest that and keep manifesting it, you will take away and be so proud of what's to come.
Yes.
So they can tell me no 1,000 times. Okay, so that means I just need to jump over this loop, to work a little harder, to go through the back door, because I'm going to find your loop. So when I find your loop, I'm going to work it and vet it, and then I'm going to share it. And that's how we're going to get around this.
Yes.
So just keep believing and do your thing, because everybody is blessed with a gift.
Yes.
Everybody is blessed with a gift.
Yes.
It's left up to you to use that gift.
Give us drop the gems on us today, okay? It absolutely is. That's for sure and for certain. I agree with you 1,000,000%, and I feel like you have so many key pointers that you dropped on us today. Even just dropping scripture and just giving us some insight on the realness, reality of what things are. You're gonna be told, and no doesn't mean that it's not gonna work. It just means that it's not gonna work for that person. It's just like we said, how do we figure out what's for who and what's for what? And this is how we figure those things out. So let's continue to understand that, and let's continue to work through those mishaps and not give up in any kind of way. And with that being said, I want to jump into the Black History fact of the day. I wanted to highlight Marie Van Brittan Brown, 1922 to 1999, and her invention is the home security system. So I was looking, and I'm going through so many Black historians and things that we invented that are not highlighted and magnified in these ways. But I found this on Marie today, and it says Marie was a nurse living in the 1960s, and she lived in Queens, and it was notorious for a high crime rate back then, and she worked odd hours. So naturally, of course, she was concerned about her safety and her home and things of that nature. She created a home security system that had peepholes on a 3 height level on the front door, so anyone could look out. And she even had it hooked up to the TV monitor to where she could see the footage of who was knocking at the door. So she had the Ring camera before the Ring camera was invented and all of this stuff. So I'm like, as I was reading this, I'm like, oh, so we magnify these things today. Like, oh yeah, I got the Ring camera and I got this and I can see that and I can talk. She was even able to talk. She had a microphone component, which was a two-way where she held two-way conversations with the person inside the home and the person outside the home. So if the person outside the home was a welcome visitor, she would push the button and it would unlatch the door and let the person in. And if it was an intruder, she would push another button and let the cops know that this is somebody else at my door, and I gotta get them going. So this it was just I feel like this is information that is we need to know and we need to share. So that is my Black History fact of the day. Thank you, Miss Marie, for your contribution to our Black history. And with that being said, we have a Black History event that's happening this Saturday. If you don't know, please check it out. It will be this Saturday. Do we have that flyer to put up? Yes. Be the change today. Okay, join us February 24th. That is this Saturday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, it is a free event. Come check it out. Scan. If you're watching this on your screen, you can scan the QR code to register, or you can head over to our website right now to register for that. Also, the link is in the chat. So if you're watching this and you want to join this event, please do so. Quickly, make sure for all my fashion people, let's get this fashion flyer up. We're looking for designers. We're looking for okay. The deadline is approaching for the fashion designers. That will be next week for March 1st, and April 1st is for the models. Okay, so make sure you tap in with that. And as we close today, Miss Gennelle, I just want to thank you so much for all the insight that you gave today. I want to thank you for your contribution to Black history each and every day as you continue to pour out into the communities and help us and share information and be of value to us, because we need that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tell the people where they could connect with you and your company and Rice Global Enterprise. Share
Well,
that.
I'm on all platforms, IG, Twitter, as Rice Global Enterprise,
Okay.
or Be Unique Travels. I spell it BE with the emphasis on YOUNIQUE, because you are unique in
Okay.
every situation. So
Absolutely.
Rice Global Enterprise, Be Unique Travels, and working on the website. The server is down at the moment, but that would be up, and it would be riceglobalenerprise.com.
Okay. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure. Everybody, make sure you continue to follow us and check us out next week, same time, same place. Follow us on our website, JuneteenthNY.com. Make sure you follow our Instagram page at JuneteenthNY. You can follow me directly at Forever AMBG. That's forever, the entire word, AMBIG. And follow my business page at I Had a Praying Grandmother. Make sure.
Now. You need to put that in the chat, because
Oh, yes, ma'am. I absolutely will. And make sure you get your Black History collection before February is up. We got a special collection going on. Until next week, same time, same place. Right. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Another great Lunch and Learn.
Thank you.
Y'all. Have a good one.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in the space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, it's like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, and
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that.